Transformers: The Last Night. Universally negative ratings. I watched it on Prime with Ginger and Dylan. Isabella Merced, Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Stanley Tucci, Josh Duhamel, Glenn McCann, John Turturro, Glenn Morsar, Tony Hale. Peter Cullen. I love the way they put Optimus Prime like towards the very bottom of the list. I get that he's only in the film for like 5 minutes, but I find that crazy. Which that's another thing. I get what they're trying to do with like. I do like the fact that with what happened at the end of Transformers 4 with him fucking off in space. Like it seemed like it would have been nice. It would have been done well with the fact that it his mission failed. Like he didn't get the Cybertron, and seemingly he's just gonna be frozen in space forever, unless a ship detects him and picks him up, or he lands on another planet. But the fact that somehow he sort of flung himself to Cybertron is ridiculous. And then the whole thing with what's her name, Contessa. Yeah, with Contessa. I feel like that plot of like the main character seemingly betraying everyone, it's been done before and it's been done better in my opinion. Like, fuck, Fast and Furious 8 was a bit similar, and it was done better, which is saying a lot because it's Fast and fucking Furious. But anyway, I would say this is probably my least favorite in the series. One, it kept on changing the aspect ratio, and I'm actually going to look this up. Apparently, Michael Bay has said that I'm going to put my phone down. Right. Apparently, Michael Bay said there's a reason as to why the aspect ratio changes every few seconds. Um, so I've looked it up and let's see. Um, I'm not seeing an actual reason here. Yeah, I don't see a reason. I got used to it after half an hour, but the first half hour it drove me crazy. Um, like, sorry about that. I kind of forgot that I was in a PlayStation party, and then Dylan came back, and I just like had to explain that I was going and shit. Anyway, I don't remember where it was. I know I mentioned the aspect ratio. Um, I'm not saying that changing the aspect ratio is a bad thing, like in and of itself. Like, something that does it well is The Boys, because there's a lot of times where the Seven will make films and you see footage of those films, and when you see footage of those films, the aspect ratio changes because it's a film that you're watching rather than a show. Even better example, something that Josh Duhamel also stars in, Jupiter's Legacy. I don't remember which way it is, but the show cuts back and forth between the modern day and the Depression, and one of them will be widescreen. I don't know what the actual like numbers are for that aspect ratio, but you know it's got the black bars on the bottom and top, and then the other will be full screen, and it is done really well. It's sort of easy to tell what time period you're in. But for this, there's no fucking reason for it whatsoever. I thought maybe. Sorry about that. I thought maybe there was a reason. Like, there was a scene where Cade and someone else were talking, and it looked like Cade had the widescreen, and the other guy didn't. But then, like that's what it seemed like. But then eventually, the other guy had the widescreen, and it just. I've said everything I can say, but I'm be repeating myself about saying anything else. Speaking of random characters, there's quite a few in here that serve no fucking purpose whatsoever. Isabella Maceda's character, like, she seemed cool at the start, but then she did literally nothing. I actually said to Ginger and Dylan that I feel like there was a bit of nepotism going on. I don't know if Isabella Maceda's parents are like famous people, but I just have a feeling that maybe they are someone, and Isabella was like they wrote this part specifically for her just because her parents are someone. I mean, she might have starred on whatever show she was on before she did this. I don't know. The series has never been consistent, but this one is the least consistent. Like, Bumblebee has spent the entire series without his voice. And then when he's fighting Optimus, all of a sudden he gets his voice back, and that snaps Optimus out of the hypnotism. How did he get his voice back? Don't question it. And then the next time he speaks, he doesn't have his voice box. But then the next time he speaks after that, he does have his voice box. The fact that they defeated Quintessa, but then there's a post credit where Gemma Chan actually appears physically, not just like as a voice actor. She actually physically appears as a human version of Quintessa. What the actual fuck? Now, maybe that was supposed to set up a sequel, and it just didn't happen because, people had enough Michael Bay's bullshit and just kicked them off, or whatever. But I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this was intentionally supposed to be the last film in the series, unless it's like what Venom 3 did, where it's like, it's the last one, but it's not the last one. I don't know. In my review for Transformers 4, I said that I doubted that The Last Knight would do anything to make Cade interesting. I was wrong. Cade actually is somewhat interesting in this. Although, the fact that he is the Last Knight instead of Sam is bullshit. I get that Sam is dead, but Sam is such a better character than Cade. Escape Plan. Mixed ratings. I watched it on Netflix. Sylvester Stallone. Arnold, can't say his last name. 50 Cent, Amy Ryan, Jim Caviezel, Sam Neill, Vincent D'Onofrio, Vinnie Jones. David Leitch? Didn't know that. Don't know if you heard that, but excuse my stomach. I don't think Kristen Wiig is in it. Also, I don't know if you can hear it, but my door keeps on making a weird sound. I think it's because I have my window open and the window in the bathroom is open, so it's kind of pushing against each other. But if you can't hear that, excuse it, please. Anyway. I thought this was just going to be like a simple... I mean, I get it was released theatrically, but it does kind of have that made the DVD feel to it. I thought it was going to be a simple made the DVD movie. That some of these Hollywood stars they can't stop doing, like Bruce Willis in particular. But this was very, very interesting. When it started it, that scene where Sylvester breaks out of that prison, but you don't actually see it happen. It's just kind of... he's there, and then he's not there. And I thought, excuse my stomach, they better not just, like, sort of cut to him having broken out, rather than showing how he did it, because it's not interesting if you don't see how he did it. But then it does show later on how he did it. And then you have the main prison that he breaks out of in this. That the whole thing about it is very, very based, because, you know, his job is to... he gets put in prison and he breaks out just so he can say to the warden and everyone that these are the flaws that need to be fixed with the prison. So the CIA hire him, or at least that's what it seems like at the start. And even though that's not exactly what's going on, the fact that it made me think that is still based. CIA hire him to test out one of their sort of black site facilities. And he does consent to it, and there's rules and shit to him doing all this just for some safety measures. One, he has to be tagged. Like, they need to put a tracker into his shoulder. And two, he has a code that he gives. Sort of like a safe word, I guess, to pull out if it gets too dangerous or something like that. But when the CIA take him to bring him to prison, they cut the tracker out and they do not acknowledge the code. So, just kind of seems like, government's fucking everyone over and all that. Anyway. I like Jim Caviezel. Like, I think he's a really good actor, but I'm not a fan of his performance in this. I feel like the part was written for Matthew McConaughey, but they couldn't afford him, or he didn't like the script or something like that, and they got Jim Caviezel instead, because all he does is whispers and acts a bit gay. And it's just that I don't like it. All the stuff with breaking out of the prison is great. I love Prison Break, like, movies and shows. And this one, it was really interesting. The problem is, that's all I really have to say. In fact, no, I've got something else to say. Just one more thing. It's weird looking, like, watching a film that stars both Sylvester and Arnold, because I thought they hated each other. Because I know in the 90s, Sylvester did a film called... it's called something like Stop or My Grandmom Will Shoot. And I think what happened was that Sylvester read the script and he thought, I want to do it, but I don't know if it's a good idea to do it. So he called up Arnold and asked if he should do it, and Arnold said, yeah, you should. And Arnold said that intentionally to try and, like, fuck over. It's called Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I think Arnold said to Sylvester to do it, knowing that it would fuck over his career. So I thought they hated each other, and it kind of seemed like, based on the shit they said in the film, that they still hated each other. But I'm not sure.